Millions of college students are graduating this month, and their biggest challenge may not be finding that first job, but finding a place to call home. A new survey by the real estate site Trulia finding new college grads can't afford to live pretty much anywhere thanks to a 1-2 punch of low entry pay and sky-high rent. In the 25 largest cities in the country, college grads earning an entry-level salary could afford fewer than 1 in 5 available apartments. In some cases, new grads would need at least 2 roommates to make city living affordable. And in 3 cities, San Francisco, New York, and Boston, a new grad would need to earn close to $100,000 per year or more to find an affordable apartment on their own. All right, Sandra, I got to go to you, our economics girl, our business gal. This is a scary reality because how many people are going to come out first job and earn $100,000 a year? That's not likely.
So I love the example that's provided here from Trulia. In Atlanta, the median salary for a new graduate is about $25,000 per year. If you're only making that much, then you can only rent a place that's $660 or less per month. Okay, this is based on this whole 31%, spending ability on your rent based on what you make. That means that you can only afford 8.7% of the homes for rent in Atlanta right now. As a college graduate making the average salary in Atlanta, you have a very slim shot at finding some place that you can afford to live.
So Kennedy, what are they supposed to do? Because these recent grads get a bad reputation because they go back and live at home with mom and dad, or they seek help from mom and dad. A lot of people say, well, do it on your own, do it on your own. Yeah. How can you do it on your own if you live in a city like New York City where you come out, you're working hard, you're making a salary, but it's just not enough to pay your bills and your rent?
Well, then you're going to have to, you are going to have to suck it up and live at home and stay with mom and dad for a while and try and save up some money until you get promoted up the chain. But this is really nothing new. I mean, a lot of people, when they enter the job market for the first time, they've got roommates. I mean, that's what you do when you're single and newly minted. And if we didn't have that model, we wouldn't have had friends.
That's true. I'm concerned that the problem, Judge, is getting
the TV
worse.
Show.
Oh, that's my favorite show. I missed that.
I thought you meant our morning show. Fox and Friends. Never mind.
It's not a 1-2 punch. It's actually
I don't think they're roommates.
It's actually a 1-2 punch with an uppercut because a lot of them are leaving college with big student loans too.
Right,
so in addition to their rent and all their expenses, they've also got to pay back the student loans. Some of which start charging you interest year 1, even before you ever graduate.
So it's so you feel defeated before you even get out and start. And I talked to a lot of these college kids. I've taught college kids recently that have just said, I feel like even if I get a good job, I'm still going to have to dig my way out of so much stuff. It's not going to be until I'm 35 or 40 that I can even feel like I have a little bit of a savings.
And you mentioned,
buy a house or anything like that.
And you mentioned having to live in D.C. and not being able to get by without $100,000. Alcee Hastings can't get by without $170,000. I mean, even with $170,000. So it's apparently a lot worse.
I agree with Kennedy, though. Let's don't be the victim here. I mean, it's always tough when you first graduate and get out of college. You got to find a way to make things worse. But
everybody scrapes.
This group does have it much differently in that the price of just about everything has been going up, whether or not Kennedy and I can argue whether or not the Federal Reserve is acknowledging that there's inflation or not. That's a big topic.
Or if they should be abolished.
Right. Or
that's a discussion.
Talking about the Federal Reserve, not inflation.
It's so hot when you guys talk about that.
but it's a very serious conversation. The cost of just about everything, from the food that you eat, the restaurant you go to your rent, it's going up at the same time where people are not only struggling to get the job, but when they get the job, they're making less. The pay scale is stagnant. The economic recovery has been very slow, but still the cost of goods are going up and services. So it's very difficult to come out of college.
There are 3 of us, and I know your kids are a little older, but there are 3 of us who have young children, Kennedy, Sandra, myself. And the contribution that we make, we're so blessed to have jobs, will be very different than what our parents made and what our children will make for their kids. And that's what I'm worried about, because they're spending a lot of their disposable income on stuff that they can't even recoup. Right. It's, I mean, it's not like they're buying homes with it.
Right. What would your advice be? I'm curious, because you do have young kids. What would your advice be to young people out there potentially listening and looking for some advice?
Live with less now and save your money.
Yeah.
Or maybe put off college until you can afford it, or until you know what you really want to study.